like imagining having the new artifact set, right? The one with the energy recharge burst, whatever. Or I was gonna try to figure out how to show, because like a lot of people are like, oh, energy recharge. Let's just stack as much energy recharge on Mona, and guess what? I'm gonna do big damage with this freaking new artifact set. But I was like, no, because like I saw your video, of course, before. Like the thing about like the stats, right? It's a huge piece of pie that you gotta distribute evenly. So these people think like, oh, this artifact set is gonna make me do big damage without diminishing returns if I just focus on energy recharge.
Yeah.
And I have a whistle. Yeah. And then they see their little ratio of like, oh, I have like 50-60% crit rate and 200 plus crit damage. I'm gonna do huge amount of damage. And then that's like a common misconception, because then you look at your attack and it's literally barely above 1,000, and you're just and it's like, no. Hello everybody, my name's Tyler Sam. I make waifu romantic content, and this is the first time I'm making this type of video, kind of like a little podcast with my good friend Lacola. If you don't know who he is another YouTuber who also makes great Mona content as well. We always message each other and stuff, and I consider him a good friend of mine. And we just decided to, just talk on stream, kind of like a little podcast type of style. And we're going to be talking about Mona and Inazuma, as far as the artifact sets that are coming out for her, as far as the new one for support and the one for like kind of like a main DPS, and different types of builds that will be useful for her. And as well as the f2p catalyst that's going to be craftable in Inazuma. So I hope you all enjoy it. I didn't upload the full thing. I just uploaded the part where we're talking about the catalyst and the artifacts. But if you want a second part to this, I can upload the rest in another video. Just let me know in the comments below. Please leave Lacola some love and subscriptions if you have not already. And enjoy the rest of the podcast. Thank you. What do you want to talk about? Like, let's see.
Do you want to talk about the Inazuma waifus, but we don't have any details?
No details, yeah. And we can also talk about the quote unquote new set, right? Even though you've kind of like already touched on it.
Yeah, but we can always, just talk about it again, and then just kind of think about like, oh, would this work well on this or that kind of thing.
Yeah. I have points actually. I was gonna write a script. Look, I don't write scripts for my videos. The only time I've written a script for my video was like whenever I had to proctor a state test at my school, and I had no other thing to do but to take a notebook and like do something. But okay. I don't write scripts. But I was like, I have 6 hours on this car ride. I might write a script. But then I was like, no, I hate writing scripts. So I did write key points though. I have like key points like I was gonna make a video, and this probably be the video. Like, what kind of Mona do you have? Like main DPS for support, main DPS comparison, support 4Ps versus 4Ps noblesse, like as far as for your team. Talking to the people who already have Mona, like you said, transitioning, is it worth it? Talk to people who don't have Mona, like who just get her. Maybe they've been playing for like freaking 200 plus days and they still don't have Mona, but then they finally get it in Inazuma. And then final thoughts, I guess.
This is how it must
be. We could kind of talk about our own builds.
Like how many builds do you have? Curious. I have 5. I think I was trying to I was gonna make a video on that. Like I have 5. I think
I would have 3. Like just 3 main ones that I use now these days.
Yeah, I have, right? Because we have for freeze comp, that's 1, right?
Yeah.
I have 1 for electrocharge.
This is how it must be.
Oh, okay.
I have 1 for vaporize, of course. Vaporize support. Vaporize support, right? And I have 1 for like quote unquote main DPS. Like, and what I mean by that is like 2Ps Hydro, 2Ps Gladiator, because of how my artifact luck, that's been like the most consistent. I have what's it called? I have Mona solo. Like when I soloed Agedaha, I have the Mona solo build. Oh my gosh. That's 4, right? Why did I say 5? Oh yeah, that's right. Freeze, vaporize support, electrocharge, quote unquote. I don't have that one. You have that one. You have that one.
It's like a one-time only thing. I'll probably mention that on stream just for the lol.
Thunder Soother, right? And then Viridescent as well. Yeah.
Yeah, just.
What about your Lava Walker set?
god, I don't even. You know, I actually don't have a proper lava walker set. Like,
Oh,
I actually don't have a 4-piece lava walker set. Like, n- like not at all.
you got rid of it,
Just
or
I don't
wait?
know.
I don't remember.
I don't
Since that
know.
video you made was a long time ago, so I don't know if like if it
Yeah,
was just theory or you talked or like you actually had it. I
it
forgot.
was actually a question, and then
Okay.
and then I just decided to make a video about just how much little of a difference it would really make to Mona Vaporize and just how much you're kind of restricting yourself just to vaporize damage.
Yeah.
And you would only use it like if you already have pre-existing Lava Walker sets that you could use on Mona.
Yeah.
That you know you
In
wouldn't
case
want to.
in case you've been getting cucked by the stupid Crimson Witch domain. But let's be honest, right?
Yeah,
It's not a Crimson Witch domain. It's a Lava Walker / defense domain.
yeah. Or you
But
could
yeah.
like three-head it. So like let's say you're farming Hutao gear and then you just so happen to get good Lava Walkers and you got a Mona. There
Yeah.
you go.
There you go, right? Mm-hmm.
Yep, there you go. Yeah. It will work. It still works, I guess, in a way. Um, yeah. So yeah, we should cover like builds. Maybe I guess um what caught our interest with
what
Mona
popped out? You know what
or
popped up in my my YouTube feed?
what?
Um, like what the 4-star weapons do for Inazuma, the craftables.
Oh, okay. Did they
Yeah,
have the effect out
yeah.
already or?
Well, no, they don't. I'm pretty sure it's a leak. But
Yeah.
you know, we don't have.
We can't.
We can say like, you know what? I predict it's gonna be this effect, and we can talk about it. And that's how we can
Oh, okay.
cover. Yeah.
Yeah.
And one of the catalysts is what's really interesting for, I guess. Well, I'll read it to you.
4-star.
Yeah, the 4-star is really interesting. So like,
Yeah.
we can talk about that. It's actually really interesting for Electrocharge Mona, as far as like a
Mhm.
free to play perspective.
Wait, send me this vid. I'll just read it.
Okay, yeah, I'll send it to you. Let me just kill these stupid slimes.
Mm.
Oh wait, I'm using freaking. Oh my gosh, I was doing this on the road. Okay. So actually, off stream, I finally leveled up my Woodsith to level 90.
Oh my god, nice. Yeah,
So I was
that
just
works
testing like
wonders.
I was. You know what I was testing? I was testing. Let's just say, I was testing like imagining having the new artifact set, right? The one with the energy recharge burst, whatever.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, let's see. Like, I was trying to like prove, or I was gonna try to figure out how to show, because you know, like a lot of people are like, oh, energy recharge. Let's just stack as much energy recharge on Mona, and guess what? I'm gonna do big damage with this freaking new artifact set. But I was like, no, because like, you know, I saw your video, of course, before, and then like the thing about like the stats, right? It's a huge piece of pie that you gotta distribute evenly. So these
Yeah.
people think like, oh, this artifact set is gonna make me do big damage without diminishing returns if I just focus on energy recharge.
Yeah.
And I have a
Because
wizard, yeah. And then they see their little ratio of like, oh, I have like 50-60% crit rate and 200 plus crit damage. I'm gonna do huge amount of damage, and then that's like a common misconception, because then you look at your attack and it's literally barely above 1,000, and you're just and then
This
it's
is
like,
how it must
yeah,
Yeah.
be.
no. But let me send you that
And
video.
then
Let me send you that video. Yeah, go ahead. You talk.
yeah, and then like even having like 250% energy recharge, I think it's good for a full support Mona. Like just like how I make my Bennett like 200 plus ER at times. But if you want to make her like burst DPS, it's just I don't know, like it's just it charges up too quickly to the point where you're just kind of limited to waiting until it's back up again. You know, I've tried actually putting two Anemo characters in the same team with Chongyum, place down Chongyum's E, and then use Mona's burst, and it's like, I mean, yeah, I brought the cooldown quite low, but it's just like it's still not even worth it, like
Yeah.
for what it is, unless they bring in like some sort of cooldown reduction character, like skill cooldown reduction, and then that's something to
Exactly. Like
might consider like full on ER then. But yeah. Oh, all right, I'm just gonna skip to the catalyst.
Yeah, skip it. It's like really, it's like, let me show you. It's literally at the 12-second mark.
Yeah.
No, and I got a comment on my 300% energy recharge mode. And I was like, someone said, imagine this with the new set, and I'm like, it's not as good as you might think. Like, I guess on that video, it worked. The rotations kind of worked. Like, yeah, I had to screw the cooldown up a little too much, but I think like 250% would be fine than 300. But then you got to find the right rotations to like always land on Mona's burst without being an inconvenience to your party. As far as like, oh, well, I have Ganyu's ult already, but I gotta switch to Mona first before, because I'm not gonna take advantage of that 100% burst uptime. But like, I think with that, but since Mona was my only Hydro character, I think it was fine in that video. I guess in that video it was fine, but I mean, the 300% recharge Mona is fun, but let's just say it was still too much. No, you know what I did?
It's for the YouTube.
Yeah, it's basically for the YouTube. I really, I only used it whenever. Last time I used it was on the Vagabond event, and I did co-op, and against the Geo Visharp, I did Mona and Hu Tao only, but I put Mona on 300% energy recharge, and the rotations for that Mona and Hu Tao combo were like actually perfect. Like as soon as Hu Tao's elemental skill ended, well, it was time to do a little bit of Mona damage and burst, and then by the time I was done with that, and then it followed perfectly with all right, time to Hu Tao mode again. So I think
really?
Yeah, it was actually
once it ended, you just go back to Mona and repeat it.
Yeah, repeat it. It was actually kind of perfect. Like,
yeah.
But I mean, that's kind of niche because it was just it was co-op and it was for the Vagabond event, and it's not like, and then if you're playing by yourself, it's not like in Spiral Abyss. It's not like you only have Hu Tao and Mona to worry about.
Yeah. But it's still something to consider in the future, like.
Yeah. I actually got a better build. Now I have 314%. And then I actually have a Heart of Depth and Noblesse set with that high energy recharge.
Oh, Jesus. So not only you've got like instant recharge.
Oh, wait.
At this rate.
That's actually what I forgot to mention that build earlier. That's what one of my builds, the 300% energy recharge mode.
Oh, yeah. You should mention that on stream.
Yeah. We're actually on stream. The chat says hi.
We are?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
How do I look at the chat?
You know what? I'll share my screen. How about that?
So where were we discussing? So our predictions on the 4-star weapons. Is that right?
Yeah, we can do that first. Sure. Right. We saw our predictions on the catalyst. Right.
Yeah.
Here's what might happen. Right. Here's what I concluded that would be a quote unquote good effect for this catalyst. Right. It says after the base attack will be 4-star. Right. Let's just say 565, and then the substat is energy recharge. So at the max level, 565, and energy recharge 30.6. So it's kind of like the Wine and Song, right? If I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Wine and Song. Yeah. And then after a character equipped with this weapon triggers an electro elemental reaction, nearby party members of the elemental type involved in the elemental reaction. So if you do electro charge for your Beidou, Official, and Mona, they're going to get 10, 12.5, 15, 17.5, or a maximum of 20, depending on your refinements. 20% elemental damage bonus for their element, lasting 6 seconds. Elemental bonuses gained this way cannot be stacked. So if you're doing electrocharger, that's basically 100% uptime on that extra elemental damage, right?
Yeah. Given that, it is. I would assume it's a free-to-play weapon where you could craft it. It is quite an interesting weapon, especially with nice additives provided.
Well, do you think outside of outside of electrocharge Mona, it's basically useless, right? Or
Yeah. I would definitely say this is a mono electro charge type of weapon. Um,
And then you see energy
but
recharge, right? And then people are like, "Oh, Mona, that's Mona's
but I'd
weapon,
be yeah, but I'll be honest, like if you already have a solar pearl, that already is probably
better."
the more ideal. Even I have a rank 5 solar pearl, but I haven't leveled it yet. But just the substats on it and the effect on the current solar pearl is just it's really beautiful already just by looking at it. And that's already kind of something quite useful for a mono electro charge team already. But for those who probably don't have the luxury of getting a solar pearl or have not yet gotten a solar pearl because you're already focusing on another BP weapon, then this weapon, weapon that might be coming out might be a good choice for mono electro charge. Yeah, or perhaps for overload comps too, like Klee or
Yeah,
uh,
Yang Fei.
Yanfei, even though I don't use them that much, but I think it will kind of work nicely with them.
What about
This is how it must be.
what's it called? Does crystallize work too if you use Ningguang?
I actually don't know.
Is that considered an
So wait,
electro elemental reaction or not?
I think it would be considered as a geo
All
related
right, because electro would
reaction.
be what superconduct, overload,
Yeah,
electrocharge.
superconductor. Yeah, and then crystallize is just its own factor, like swirl.
Yeah.
I
Yes.
would assume, yeah. Yeah, because
Gotcha.
like even if like like let's say if you're versing against the geo hyperstasis, you throw in some element in there, most likely it would just trigger crystallize. So yeah, it's probably geo and swirl characters can't really gain much of a benefit from this, I suppose.
Yeah.
Um,
Side note,
yeah.
I'm dumb. I told myself I'm gonna get every battle pass weapon, and then I'm gonna start refining the solar pearl. Well, this battle pass, I am so smart, right? I was like, oh, I think I need the bow one, whatever it's called, the viridescent, or I don't know what's it called, but
Iridescent Hunt or
yeah, viridescent hunt.
yeah,
And then I did this decision without checking my inventory. And then one time I was like
yeah.
refining my or leveling up my weapons, and I was like, why do I have two of those bows? And I'm like, oh no.
Oh
So
no.
I was like, no, my solar pearl refinement just wasted, gone, because I did want to refine the solar pearl, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's just a side note. But going back to the catalyst, yeah, I think
Yeah.
I mean, right, because they're a different perspective, right, from whales free to play and then low spenders, I guess.
Yeah. I mean
And
like the
so, but you're saying that solar pearl is better, which I believe you. Yeah, I think it is better too.
yeah, but that's if if users are committed to paying what
$10?
what
Well,
five,
$10 in the US.
five,
I don't know how much.
yeah, yeah, $10 a US, um, per times the battle pass refreshes to get a rank 5 solar pearl.
Hmm.
But like I said, some other users probably would be, already still focusing on refining another BP weapon, and they don't have the option to currently refine 5A solar pearl. But yeah,
Yeah, I get you.
but this new catalyst, yeah, still something nice to use if you've got really nothing else to use. I mean, what was it? The Dodo Tales,
Oh yeah,
Dodo Tales
Dodokotos.
Tale. Yeah, that
The,
one. That one's already a really good book already.
yep.
Um,
Yeah, Dodokotos
yeah,
was like doing a little bit more, like with all the stacks, right? Like perfect stats, buffs, and everything. It was doing like a couple hundred more damage than my Skyward Atlas. Charge attack, of course, only charge attack.
yeah. I think it works really nicely with C2 Mona. It just
It
instantly
does.
activates that
Hmm. Hmm.
that I tap off. Yeah.
And if you have the luxury of having Mona as like a burst support, then yeah, you just do
Mhm.
like one. Let me switch my weapon. Let me. rotation I like to do. Like, of course, right. The best rotation is right a double auto, and then charge attack, right? According to the Mono Mains Discord. Yes.
Mm.
And then if you're but I think like that. I mean, that's good too. But if you have the E, then I think it's worth it to go all the way to the fourth attack and cancel the animation of the fourth attack with the elemental skill, and then switch off. Because you do 4 attacks, and you're hoping that 20% is gonna hit one of those 4 attacks, and then you'll do the charge attack.
Yeah.
And then, like, as far as like, only if you have the luxury of having a C2 Mona, because if you don't have C2 Mona, well, I mean, it still works, but you're not gonna get that extra charge attack. That's what I like to do with my Mona. But going back to the Catalyst, it sucks that it actually has an energy recharge, because if you're doing double electro resonance, then you're already getting like a lot of particles with that.
Yeah.
But I guess for Mona it's pretty good for what, 6% extra, 6.1% energy recharge.
Mm.
Six.
Yeah, I just don't know if this is too much energy recharge along with the new artifact set for Mona.
Oh yeah, I guess right. I guess you pair this one with the new artifact set. You get like a 50%.
Let's say if users want to pair up the new free to play Catalyst with the new artifact set, which that being the I think it's the purple energy recharge set. I forgot the name of that one. Yeah, it might be just too much energy recharge, and I think it's quite conflicting between the catalyst's effect and the effect of the actual artifact set. But the other set, I think the second set, the kind of fox looking artifact set, that one might go well with this catalyst. Just because it does increase normal and charge attack damages.
Yeah.
So that could potential, and if you're running an electro charge Mona, energy recharge is less of an issue.
Mhm.
Add this weapon in, and that makes it even more less of an issue with that conflicting artifact where it requires, I think, it takes away
15.
15 energy if you're under 15 energy or something like that. Which doesn't really matter because you're just going to have all these sources of producing energy particles that you're just going to get that buff straight away, and it's not going to be much of an issue. And I'm sure if, with practice, figure out a proper rotation to counter that, that cost in order to gain more power out of your Mona.
Right.
But yeah, that artifact set is also something
to consider, right?
thinking
So
Yeah.
it will this be one of those domains where like it has both artifact sets or both good artifact sets?
I
right?
hope so. Yeah,
They're gonna put them in the same.
I hope they're in the same together because that's just like Yomiya's artifact set already there.
Yeah.
I mean, it kind of just already subtly hints that. I'm not sure if the purple one, the energy recharge one, is meant for Ayaka. I've kind of forgotten Ayaka's kit again.
I have not gone on Honey Impact and looked at Yomiya or Ayaka. I don't know anything about them.
Yeah, I haven't. I'll probably just have a quick read of it now or something like that.
Yeah, I'll Google it right now too. Why not? No, but yeah, because last time they revealed, right, the Heart of Death and Blizzard Strayer, they were both in the same domain. So I'm hoping that this. Well, I mean, it's Inazuma, right? So there should be actually like a lot of domains coming out if it's a new region.
Yeah.
So I hope they don't separate it. I hope they don't give us something jank for each of them. But who knows, right? It's all up to Mihoyo how they want to freaking cuck us.
Well, hopefully they're together, so then it's kind of a win-win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think that new artifact, what's it called? I guess Gladiator 2.0, you think that'd be a good one for main DPS Mona?
Uh, yeah, I actually think it could be something for main DPS Mona. So when casting an elemental skill, if the character has 15 or more energy, they lose 15 energy, and then they gain about 50% of normal charge and plunging attack damage percentage. I think that gives more than the Heart of Depth if the Heart of Depth activates its full buffs.
Yeah,
Because
because
Heart of Depth,
30, 15, 45? Right.
yeah, 45. Oh, but it's 15 seconds. But how long is Mona's cooldowns
12
on
second?
her elements? 12 seconds. Okay. Yeah.
So
Yeah, works like a charm.
how long is the cooldown for Gladiator 2.0?
The effect of it lasts for 10 seconds.
So for
And I think it can only be triggered once under the condition that
15.
if your character has 15 or more energy. Oh wait, no. Yeah. Oh, okay, so 15 or more energy. So yeah, just can just keep using it then, I suppose.
But for 2 seconds, you're gonna be like, oh, right.
But within that 2 seconds,
You should
you're
be
not
doing
gonna
other
really
stuff, right?
you're not really gonna have Mona out for like for me when I use Electro Charge, I'm always constantly swapping around.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and with that, I don't think I would have Mona out for like more than 10 seconds. Like she would only be out for like about like probably around about 8 to 10 seconds. Like as soon as Bennett's, because what I normally do with my electro charge, I bring Bennett along with Beto and Fischl.
Mm-hmm.
So I launch everyone's ult all together. And then within that frame of time when Bennett's burst is on the floor, I'm trying to make sure I push out as much damage as I can. And then once that's down, then I usually swap into Fischl and Beto and Bennett to charge up the team again, to charge up everyone's ults again at the same time. And then I repeat the combo again. So yeah, I can see that set as being something that I might just try out for fun for Electro Charge.
Same.
Yeah. Yeah. Just
Mm.
because it fits into my kind of play style where I don't really need to have Mona out for that long. Like she just comes out, launches damages, her burst along with everyone else's burst, and then once that's all ended,
You
go
think it?
back to yeah.
You think it will disrupt your like burst spam with that 15% or that 15 energy recharge cost?
Hmm.
Right, because I know what you're
Maybe.
right. I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about, right? Because like switch out, and then like you basically Mona burst
Yeah.
is almost up all the time. But
Yeah.
then
It might. It might. Yeah. It might kind of affect it, but
it's
I
just
probably
speculation
might have.
because like it's only once every what you said 10 seconds.
Yeah. So it activates and the buff lasts for 10 seconds, but I think it can continuously refresh itself. I think. Well, it's not really clear, like in terms of the cooldown.
I'm gonna pull it up.
I think
I forgot what it said.
so. It's like when casting an elemental skill, if the character has 15 or more energy, they lose 15 energy, and normal charge and plunging attack damage is increased by 50% for 10 seconds. But it doesn't really specify like does it constantly refresh if does it constantly keep refreshing the timer of that buff
Oh
if
yeah.
you're over 15 energy, or does it just give you that 10 seconds and it doesn't refresh until the next 10 seconds where it will recheck again if you have over 15 energy and then add in another 10 seconds of that buff again. So yeah, I'm not sure if
Yep.
that's what's really happening. Yeah.
We just gotta wait. But it is interesting. Normal charge
Yeah.
attack. We'll see though, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So I guess since we're talking about the artifacts, let's just jump into the Emblem of Severed Fate, right? Because that one's like the more meatier one. Because that's the one where that's the one where everyone's looking at and they're thinking of Mona, and all the meta gamers are thinking of Shincho. But we're talking about our girl Mona.
I'll go Mona. Yeah, so Mona will probably reach new peaks with a vaporized vaporized damage with this new set.
Of course.
So
And like I was gonna burst a lot of people's bubble, like, because in my opinion, like, you know, like it's like people are overhyping this, and I don't think it's as good as a lot of them think. Like I know it's good, but like everyone has a different standard of good, and like I think I don't think it's as, like I said, it's as good as people think. Like the ones who don't actually like play with Mona a lot. Or what do you think about that statement?
Really,
yeah, sorry.
Yeah, like I think it's really good for support Mona. Just the fact that, you know, you're gonna get her burst uptime a lot quicker with it without having to really worry about getting her, you know, controlling the energy particles and making sure that she collects them at certain times. I don't know if you saw, like, I did make like a triple burst Mona video where I tried to triple verse Azahar.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, in each phase. The issue with that for me personally was that I needed to swap purposely Mona in to get the hydro energy particles so I can get her burst up at every phase, at the beginning of every phase. But I'm hoping that this new set would remove that problem where I don't need to worry about swapping into Mona to collect those particles. I can just swap into someone else and Mona will just get her burst up straight away. At least that's what I'm hoping that would happen. But yeah, I mean, 20% energy recharge wouldn't necessarily make much of a difference.
And
but
yeah, and let's just translate the energy recharge, right? Because if you think about it, right, that 20% energy recharge is what, 5% hydro damage bonus essentially.
Yeah, yes, that's right. Yeah,
and I mean, it gives you a little bit of ease, like, oh, I don't have to commit, I don't have to roll my artifacts 20%. I just get that. But then you're sacrificing, like from the usual Heart of Death set, you're sacrificing 10% elemental damage bonus. And going
you're
to
kind of trading.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
You're kind of trading. Yeah. Also, no, you go ahead. Sorry, I was interrupting.
Okay, I know I'm bad. I need to get better at these like podcast type of style stuff because I'm so bad at interrupting. I'm sorry, and I only say this because I've only done one other quote unquote podcast with my brother-in-law. He has like a little podcast, and so like I think I interrupted a lot, and it's my bad.
I think we just got so many opinions that, you know, we just get carried away probably.
Right, because you're talking about your Mona, right? The one with the triple burst, right? So So then when people are looking at artifact set, they got to think about, well, what kind of Mona do I have, right? Because everyone has a different kind of Mona. Like we were talking about our builds, right? We have like 5 or 6 builds, each on our own. So
yeah.
That's just because we're extra, right? We're extra with our girl. But for like people who aren't really committed to Mona, like more often than not, they're gonna have a support Mona, right? They're not gonna commit DPS stuff to her. Their talents are literally gonna be 1 or 10, best case scenario, because they don't really care about normal attack, charge attack. I mean, elemental skill.
Then this is the perfect set for them, especially for this Morgana team. I still refer to it as Mona Freeze because I don't use Diona in that factor. I use Bennett.
Correct.
So I can't really, because the Morgana name is basically, you know, you got MO for Mona, I think.
GA for Ganyu.
GA for Ganyu, and then I forgot where Venti fits into it. But then
Venti doesn't fit in. It's just Diona, Mona, Ganyu, Diona, Morgana, and Venti is just. They just stuck them in. They just like, oh, well, you have to have Venti. right?
Yeah.
Or I guess they could just say you can. I guess. I mean, Morgana's Venti, right? But I guess you can use Sucrose and Kazuha for that. That'd be okay.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like see how the community kind of goes with it. You know, if they start addressing like a team like with Mona Venti, Ganyu with Bennett or with someone else as Morgana, then I'm just gonna start calling it Morgana team. But
It's
yeah.
not good. Tell them, you know, it's a nice name, but it's not good for YouTube like search optimization because
Yeah,
nobody's
it's not. Yeah, exactly. You're right about that. It's not
no.
good for us YouTubers because the general demographic, like the bigger portion of the population, wouldn't even know this terminology. It's only like the Discord mains and the CN server kind of, you know, the more enthusiasts that play Genshin Impact. But like for the general, who knows quite a large portion of the player base wouldn't even know the terminology. Yeah,
No, I get you because like
yeah,
just Mona Freeze.
yeah.
That's funny though.
Yeah.
Morgana. No,
Morgana.
but yeah, I get you. That set perfect for people who just get Mona and need a set, and hopefully, you know, let's just say they've never farmed or they don't have any good Heart of Death pieces because you know they never bothered farming for it, and you know at that point of the game, you know there's so many other waifus coming out. Like I'm pretty sure Mona's not going to be a priority to some of those people.
Yeah.
So that'd be like it's a perfect set for them to just, hey, I can slap this on. I can just level up Mona's Q and I'll have a good burst support. So for those people, I think, yeah, it's a great set. But at the same time, those people better also think about like, hey, you better not like, you know, if you think like if you don't care about damage, sure, right? You can use 300% energy recharge Mona. Go ahead, sure. But don't expect big damage. You know, because at that point, if you're going for like high ER Mona, and I'm just exaggerating here with my 300% energy recharge build, but if you're going for high ER, you're literally just going for the damage bonus. You don't care about damage. So if that's the case, then you're not better off using that set. You're better off just using like a 4-piece noblesse, like to get to get extra damage for your whole party, not just for Mona. Because if you're really focused on the Mona damage, then like you said in your video, like you don't go for the ER main piece, the timepiece. You go for an attack percent timepiece, right?
Yeah. Because I don't know. It's just I wouldn't really go ER as a main stat. I just aim for it as a sub stat. Just because the trade off for ER when it gets converted into additives is just it's not really as much as you would think it is. I mean, it does sound a lot, but when you
think about math, right? When you think about math and how everything gets multiplied in a certain order, then you're like, no. I really like it. I really like your what's it called? Your Excel sheet. I thought that was cool.
Because I thought like, oh, what if, you know, Mona did have like 250 energy recharge? Like that was my first thought. Like, would she be like super OP? And then when I did the counts for her, I was like, oh, like I guess I'll just stick with the standard DPS main stats and sub stats, and then if I get energy recharge, at least it's a good thing now. So if you do get energy recharge on that set, think of it as like, oh, that's a good stat because at least that turns into additives. So, you know, let's say you rolled a 20%, you know, energy recharge on one piece, you know, that converts into 5%, you know, hydro damage, and that also contributes more towards improving to the 75% bonus damage, to the bonus damage total, which is quite lovely as well to have as well. So don't feel too bad if you do get energy recharge on this set.
I have a goblet that has 28.5 ER as a substat.
Oh, damn.
I know. Okay, so when I got it, it was EM. I don't know if you can see it on you're not on my stream, but does it appear on the screen? I think it does. It gives you a preview, but it's a little preview. I was almost a god roll, As Elemental Mastery, ER, crit rate, and defense. It came with those 4 pieces or 4 stats,
Oof.
and then it rolled into ER every single time, and then once into defense.
Oh.
And I was like, "Where's the crit rate though? Dang it!" Nah, but
Well, but at least if you do decide to use that set, that ER might serve a more useful purpose now.
right. And then
Yeah.
there's rumors of like, I don't know if it was a rumor or I misunderstood a post, but there's like a rumor that you can transfer artifact stats from one set to another, like trade it off.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
like
I
if
mean,
if that's the case, then I like for that new set, I am for sure trading those stats with my hydro damage goblet because that would be really good.
I'd do that if I had no resin and I'm just super bored and I'm just like, I'm feeling lucky today. Let's do it. And then get all defense percent.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so much for feeling lucky.
I know. Shoot. No, but what was I saying before I interrupted? But yeah, the diminishing returns with the ER, and now you don't feel
Yeah.
now with that set because before right now we're like, oh, I got like on my goblet, oh, I got 20%, 28% ER. That's like almost 6% higher damage bonus for Mona. But then with that set, now you're thinking about like, oh, that's I haven't done the math for the ratio, but like, oh, that's more burst damage for Mona and hydro damage bonus. So now you have 2 things that you're considering, right?
Yeah. But still, it'd still be better just to get the actual
Crit
main
damage.
yeah.
Get
Like
crit damage, crit rate.
attack percent, EM as well. Those kind of essential stats that would really kind of just push out her damage because yeah, it's mostly that. And then when you factor in the width stiff as well, like a lot of I would assume some mono main users would have at least one copy of the width stiff. That basically balances out your stats when you're going for, high burst vaporized damages. So, if you're lacking in a lot of EM, then the EM proc is the best suited for you. But I think, the best stat is the second buff from that catalyst, just
Always,
because
right?
of the additives. Yeah, just because of that additive is hard to obtain. But now we can obtain that additive within that new set. So with that, even though if you obtain more additives from that set and but then you just decline off your EM and your attack, then the other width stiff buffs will end up being better. Like the EM one or the attack one might just end up being better because you have too much additive bonuses and you're not really balancing out the distribution of the actual stats between elemental mastery, attack, and the additive damage bonus together. And when I mean additive damage bonus, I mean like elemental burst damage and hydro damage go into the same line of the calculations.
Mm-hmm.
So that said, like it's all about balancing those stats in order to reach higher improved numbers for your Mona's vaporized damage. That's why you see me do all this, silly numbers.
No, yeah.
silly numbers because it's all about balancing my stats. I actually switched. I actually don't use my EM Sands anymore just because with Kazuha now providing 200, because I have C2 Kazuha, he naturally provides 200 EM already just on the fly. And I just use a Wanderers and Hydro set. That already kind of gives me 100 or so EM. And then Kazuha just gives me, like puts it up to 300 or 400 EM, which is kind of just an adequate amount of EM to do some miniature kind of nuclear monobursts, I suppose. So yeah, I don't really use EM Sands all that much anymore.
Yeah, I kind of got away from it too. I only use it. Well, okay, I don't have C2 Kazuha, but my EM, like I still use the EM Sans piece only only for YouTube video. If I'm using it for Abyss, if I'm using EMPs, Hu Tao has to be main DPS
Yeah.
with it, right? Because the attack percent piece, it's not that much of a difference with vaporized damage versus EM. Even with like my EM pieces, I have I don't know if you've seen my EM piece. It has like 19% crit damage, 9.9 attack percent,
Oh my
and then
God,
5.4 crit rate.
What the hell is that godly piece right there?
And I have one
Christ.
for Huta. My Huta one, it trades the crit damage and attack percent. So I
Oh
guess
my
I can put
God.
versus compare
Oh
it.
my God.
26.4 crit damage
Oh my
and the same
God.
crit rate, a little bit less attack percent. Oh, that's wrong comparison. Oops, my bad.
Oh my God. What kind of godly EMPs is this? Oh Jesus.
And
That's really
even at that piece, even with that piece, it's still not much of a difference versus like an attack percent piece
yeah.
that has I did that video comparing the like a long time ago with my sans pieces. It's not that much of
And
a
it,
difference.
yeah, and it probably goes with your playstyle because I think I saw your your Mona Vaporize team gameplays like in Abyss with Kazuha, and you're using Kazuha's burst to proc
Vaporize.
to trigger to trigger sorry not the word trigger to activate the pyro infused swirl, and then getting Mona to do some big vaporized damage numbers, just like not just with her burst but like just in general her whole entire kit,
Kit.
and that really works really nicely. um
Yeah, but
yeah.
that's just because I'm extra with the triple crown. Like it's not like it's
No, but it is actually good because when I was testing with the Magukenkis for Vagabond Legends, yeah, like just naturally just hitting with Mona and Kazuha together under with Bennett's ult on the floor, of course. I was seeing like 100k and 200k, charge attacks and elemental skill like procs from Mona, like vaporized triggers from Mona. I'm just like, oh Jesus.
Yep.
Never seen this ever before. Never seen this before.
Mm,
So
Well, my elemental,
yeah.
I think whenever the buffs were there for me, my elemental skill with vaporize did like 106k, the explosion
Yeah,
damage. I was like, what the? I made like a
yeah.
TikTok on it just so I can have it like on record, but because I didn't record it, it was just on stream, and I was like,
Mm.
I gotta screen record this before it gets lost forever. But yeah, like I like use well. I guess since I have triple crown, I might as well use the whole freaking kit, right? So like, I really
Mm.
had fun using the Mona vaporize damage,
Oh yeah, definitely.
like using her in total, and like, gosh, I wish I had C3 Mona, but I just don't, man. I just don't. It has not come home.
Yeah. For those who don't have C3 yet, going through the pain of being a C1 Mona and trying to replicate Tony's vaporized Mona gameplays was just hell for me. It was complete hell because it's very difficult to replicate Tony's gameplay when his Mona had C3 and you would have a C1. Like, it's actually such a big difference. Once I got C3 Mona, then I could start doing all these ridiculous, like, I call them Mona circus tricks now.
Yeah, dude, that's
Just
what.
because.
Sorry, go ahead. My bad.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, so it's just like because like you just gain like 3 levels of very high multipliers from her skills to the point where you can start trading off like offensive stats like attack or crit damage for more sustainable crit rate and go for something a little bit more ridiculous like what I do now, which is like 50% crit rate, with 200 crit damage.
And you have C4 Mona,
So
right?
yeah, C4 Mona now.
So then that adds 15% also. Like what?
I think that only applies to her party members, not to herself though.
What? Cap.
Yeah,
Let me see.
because that's how it's been worded. So
So
when
when
any
any
party member,
well, Mona's party member. Because if you look at Rosaria, right, like her talent, Shadow Samaritan,
yeah.
they emphasize except Rosaria herself, but that's not the case with
Oh, okay.
C4 Mona. That's why I thought it
Yeah.
was also Mona. No?
But like, yeah, I don't know. I think I would have to measure this in terms of just like
Ugh.
what,
No, don't
like
stress
maybe
yourself
just
out. Doing like 100 runs and be like, oh, maybe it does affect Mona,
or
right?
maybe I'll give my Mona maybe like 85% crit rate, and then see like if I see one fail crit, then I'll know.
Okay,
Well, so
yeah, yeah,
I'll
yeah.
use Omen, and then I'll test it out, and I'll be like, okay, yeah. But then if I see all crits, then we can confirm that it's benefiting Mona. But yeah, I mean, it does say only when any party member attacks the Omen. Um,
Yeah, and then right, a lot of people don't know like, oh, a lot of people don't know that Omen is affected as soon as you pop, as soon as you activate the burst. There's Omen. You don't have to
yeah,
pop the bubble to get the Omen. The Omen's already there.
yeah, yeah, that's right. So if we're versing those Stonehide lower trolls, that the bubble never pops on them.
Mm-hmm.
That's just literally free Omen extension, while at the same time, yeah, the C4 kick in there as well.
Yep. So hopefully, maybe you can test that another day, right?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably actually test it out. It's a good idea, Sam. It's a good idea. Well, I've got it. Yeah.
That's why I leave all the
Yeah.
big damage to you because I don't have C3 Mona, so I'm like, hey, I'm not gonna provide that content. Lacola is
Yeah.
already there. You guys can get that content from him. Right. That's why
But
like
then once,
they asked me, why don't you level up your Witsith or why don't you use the Witsith? Because what's the point? There's no point. Like okay, for me, I'm super unlucky with the Witsith. Like the other day, I was trying to get the elemental damage proc. It took me 12 tries just to get that proc, and I was like, oh, it's like I kept getting EM or attack percent. I'm like, okay, yeah, this is why I don't use the Witsith. But yeah, I leave that to you, man. You got that. Even if I do get straight through Mona, maybe I'll just make like one way like, okay, hey, this is my max damage. But then like content for like stuff like that, I'll be like, yeah, just leave it to Lacola. That's him.
I don't know, man. Like C3 is just like a game changer. Like once I got C3, I was just like, ooh, burst this, burst.
Okay, I might change my mind,
like,
but until
it's just
then,
like, it's just like, Mona's just hitting too strong. All right, we'll just dumb it down a bit and just go for like a different build. Like, it basically C3 just makes your Mona more flexible to more, very niche, builds, which is good because I really like playing Mona, so I really like playing her in all different kinds of ways, to all the different type of content
yep.
Mihoyo throws at us. Yeah. But yeah, Sam, once you get C3, you should
You do your shenanigans.
Yeah. Just damage per screenshot shenanigans.
Okay. So
Yeah.
I guess speaking on main DPS Mona, right? Because for people who have main DPS Mona and are looking at the new artifact set, is it worth it? What do you think? I'll let you go first.
So like main DPS, like you use it on an everyday basis. Mona's the main.
Okay, yeah. Let's take it to Electrocharge Mona because she's the main DPS, or like an Electrocharge Mona main DPS build, or I guess whenever I did, or just in general, Vaporize main DPS Mona.
Or let's say like for co-op as well, like
Yeah,
main
co-op
DPS
too. Yeah, co-op too.
Yeah. The Emblem of the Severed Fates, no, like completely useless for main DPS Mona.
That's what I was thinking too. And then also,
unless you just want to support your teammates in co-op or something like that. But
in that case, you might as well go for like a solo build with like freaking Lost Prayer, right? Lost Prayer, so you can
like
always have that buff.
Yeah, but it's just like, this is just my assumption. Like if you're a main DPS Mona, when you're hitting like three-digit numbers on your Mona, like per hit, you're kind of like, oh, it's kind of just feels very underwhelming. But when you start hitting, your very first 4 digits on Mona, every hit, you're like, oh yeah, Mona's so strong now. I'm gonna, it's like, gonna kill everything now. with it. So that set, that Emblem Severed Fate will just make your Mona's normal attacks
Weaker, right?
like real, like so garbage, like complete garbage. Just because you don't get your Hydro damage boost anymore, you don't even get an attack percent boost. You you only get a 5% Hydro damage boost based on the two-piece energy recharge, and all those additive bonuses are just going towards the end, the burst, um, in the end. So you're not really enjoying the main DPS Mona gameplay with the Emblem of the Severed Fate. But for the other one, Shimenawa, is that how you pronounce it? I don't know how to pronounce it, but the second one, where it's like Gladiators 2.0, that might be something for a main DPS Mona.
Yep.
But for Heart of Depth as well, still good. But yeah,
Still
what do
good.
you think, Sam?
No, yeah, I'm with you there. Like, I think, what was your Exo Shield was like normal charge tech. It was like a bigger drastic change than the burst, right? Because like I
Yeah,
know like the burst damage was not almost the same, but still up there pretty high. Where you're only losing, I don't know, I forgot, like 8,000. But at that point, when you're talking about like 50k plus damage, 8,000 it really isn't that much in terms of percentage wise.
yeah.
But then when like
Like,
your normal on your charge tags, like if that's because that's the damage you're gonna be getting a lot from, right? If you're main DPS Mona, so like
yeah,
you're sacrificing 10% elemental damage bonus, right? Assuming you have a 2-piece Heart of Death, and like
is
if
it
you're
10 or 15?
well, it's 15, but you're sacrificing 10
Yeah.
because you're only getting 5 from the two
Oh yeah,
piece,
yeah. Gotcha.
and I mean it's not a lot, I guess, when you think about it. But if you're using if you're a 4-piece Heart of Death Mona guy, especially for electric charge, because that's where your damage is gonna be coming a lot,
Mm.
then or I guess let's just talk about Vaporize, right? Especially Vaporize, because that's when the damage scales up even more. Like if you're sacrificing
Yeah.
that damage for Vaporize, then and I can see how that is gonna have diminishing returns, and then especially uh, for those people that don't have the Zhongli pillar or what to do, or don't want to bother with the stagger resistance, because a lot of people are like, this isn't fun, or I just want to click and do all that. I guess it won't be useful for them, but like
Yeah.
if most of your damage from Vaporize comes from charge attacks and normal attacks, and even I guess elemental skill damage, then I guess for main DPS it's not the worst, but also like you might as well slap on your artifacts that you have better already, like especially at that point, or like for a lot of people who are trying to use Mona as main DPS, they already have good artifacts for her, so they don't want to
Yeah.
bother. It's not good, like it's not worth it to transition to
Yeah.
that. So it's
Like
not.
that's why. Yeah.
Go ahead, my bad.
Oh no. Sorry, I was interrupting. You go.
I was like, it's good. It's just not the best. Might as well, it's still good. I guess you can still make it work, but it's not the best. Might as well use a better artifact.
Yeah, but I'm sure we'll, depending on what kind of substats we get, it might change the game, might change the way we perceive these artifacts, as a first look. But yeah, that's why I kind of did the calcs for it to see whether I need to transition from it, because my artifacts already are pretty like top notch, and I don't want to bother having to regain such good quality substats all over again. Because I think, yeah, it's like what, a year's worth of playing, almost a year's worth now, like, of farming in Genshin, and now it's suddenly like, okay, it's time to update those artifacts, and it's just like, oh really, like I feel like I only just got them yesterday.
Uh-huh. But yeah, I know, right? And then especially like having different builds for different team comps.
Yeah, like I'd probably still use my current ones, even if like the Emblem of the Severed Fates, like by calculations, does provide better, but I would need to check the substats on it to see if it actually does provide better output than my current my current sets, because that's how I monitor my Mona's damage now these days. I don't just make the decision of like, okay, that looks good, I'm just gonna swap over to that now. It's more like I just like to keep track of it. um
No, I get you.
yeah, that's just me. That's just me for Mona, but I don't do that for any other character.
Yeah,
Like for
exactly.
Eula, for Ganyu, I just don't care. I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I think
Yeah.
this is good enough.
Uh-huh. And
Even though the like C6, where I should be caring.
exactly. And then like for some reason, like you're right, Eula and Hutao, like I got their artifacts pretty quick. And then for Mona, like I guess I'm trying to be super extra with her. Like I'm still trying to get like the quote unquote perfect artifacts for her. Like it's just I don't have the best luck. But talking about like right, just last point I guess for like main DPS. Like Heart of Death and Noblesse, right? That's the most like balanced build, I guess, and could be used. I think it's a good main DPS option. So I guess if you add that up, it's 35% for your burst.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so like I was trying to do the math, but then I just got lazy. I think I fell asleep on the car ride. But I was trying to do the math. Like, I don't know if we can figure it out right now. At one point, how much energy recharge for the new set do you have to have in order to go past that 35%? I guess.
That mark.
Yeah, that mark. Was it 30? What would it be? It would be like 35%. It's like a 1-to-3 ratio, right? Because you get 250, 75. So 35 would be. No, I don't know. 140, 105? No.
Oh, so like getting at least 35% of that. So that would probably be around. You would need, I think, like.
Oh, so it's 25. It's a 1-to-4. So 35 times 4. 140. Yeah, 140. Yeah, 140.
Yeah, 140. Yeah, that's.
Gotcha. That's pretty easy, right? Because how much does Mona get from her ascension? 32.
Yeah, I think it was 32.
So you can hit that mark like easier.
Yeah, like it's very easy to hit that mark just because of
But it's just for burst, and then you're losing out on 15. Well, only 10 for the rest of her kit, right? Because you got 5 from the 20%, and then you're only getting 10 more for higher debt. Now I'm convincing myself that this isn't that bad, but if you look at the numbers like your graph, that's why I love your Excel sheet. It's you get them, you like it's not worth it, right? That 10% is pretty huge.
Yeah, you're losing me, Sam. Like,
okay, that's why I was like, it's not the best, but it's also not the worst. It's pretty good for main DPS, I guess. Especially if you have, oh gosh, if you can get like my best ER without losing a lot of attack by keeping a Skyward Atlas and keeping the sets. I think my best ER is like, let me figure it out right now. Let me put on my ER stuff. What would my ER stuff even be? Okay, so like, okay, I got this and I got this. I guess this is it, right? Maybe 183 ER, but that's your standard, right? That's what you said. That's what you put in your graph. And I guess if I could be more extra, I have a better piece. Let me see. Hold on. No, this would be it. I got 192 or ER. Without, yeah, I don't know. I think I can get like 200% without losing too much damage as far as like base attack. So then, I guess that's more elemental damage bonus. But oh wait, and also the thing is, I keep forgetting. Like a lot of people don't have Scoured Atlas, and that's what messes me up whenever I'm talking about this. I'm convincing myself because I have Scoured Atlas. If I don't have Scoured Atlas, I'm losing 12%. Especially if I go to like the Wit Sith, right? And then I think you don't get that much higher damage bonus if you just focus on ER. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know where I'm going with this. I'm going on a tangent. I'm just talking to myself. I think I'm just gonna stick with that. It could be used for main DPS, but it's not the best, right?
Yeah, well, we'll see how we go. I mean, it's usually just dependent on substats that could possibly change our minds.
Yeah.
With the way we perceive the set, you could just end up getting the most godliest substats on them, and it wouldn't even necessarily matter if you swapped over because those substats will compensate for, you know, all the additive losses that you would have on your hydro damage 2-piece or 4-piece set. Because of just your godly rolls on the new set. Like, so it all just depends. Like, let's just say if I got really unlucky with that set, then I'll just be like on a tangent being like, this set's crap. I still much prefer my current set. It's just a matter of, whether we get it or not. And then we just have to make do of what we have.
It all depends on the substats, right?
Yeah. To me, that's all that matters the most. Yeah, that matters the most with Mona. But anyways, we should move on for not just artifacts. Let's maybe Mona with Ayaka, Mona with Yomiya, our thoughts maybe.
I think that was the last thing I want to talk about the artifacts. Yeah. It's because I just had so many topics on this. So we're talking about right. I think that's it, right? We already talked about if it's worth transitioning, support versus main DPS, and I already talked about how, like, I guess I already talked about it earlier about if you're going for damage, then yeah, that's a good set. But then if you're just going for burst spam, Noblesse is still better because at least it helps your the whole team.
And then it does help your whole team, but the energy recharge is always a nice thing to have. Yeah, but Mona doesn't really have issues with energy recharge in a way.
Right. So
well, at least I don't have that problem, but maybe others do. So yeah.
Final thoughts, so we can move on from this. Just to close it out formally. Final thoughts on that I guess that artifact, the Severed Fates one.
Great for support Mona, burst DPS.
Anything.
Yeah, anything that you could possibly think of.
Yeah, what are your final thoughts? Just like, you want it? Do you need it? Does everyone need it? Is it worth it to farm freaking 60 fragile resins that everyone's saving up? Is it worth it?
If the substats on it beat your current set, I guess, yeah. And if you don't have really big issues with your energy recharge, then I guess it becomes less of an appealing option. But yeah, I'm kind of like, oh yeah, I know it's a good set, but I'm gonna take my time with getting the substats that I want on it, because I'm not gonna just immediately transfer over to it, because like I said, like a lot of us, have probably already good artifact sets already after a year's worth of farming artifacts. So it's gonna be harder for us to replace what we currently have with this new set. So I'm excited about it, but I'm just gonna be patient about it.
I'm excited about getting cucked in that domain with the substats. I'm excited for the defense, the HP, and especially the healing bonuses. That's what I'm most excited about.
I'm excited to put, camp my Serenity or teapot right in front of it, and just make that resin, my teapot come out, do the domain, go back in.
Yeah.
Just really camp in front of that that domain.
Now your final thoughts are pretty much my thoughts too. I think it's exciting, but at the same time, like, people gotta think about like, it's good for good for new people and sub DPS, but for the Mona people who have been here since basically like at least patch 1.2, like
well,
it's good, but like you don't like go like, oh, I need to have it, I need to transition to it. Like like you said,
Mm,
take your time. Take your time on
yeah.
that.
But put it in this perspective. Like, remember that it's not just Mona that benefits from this set. Like, Xingqiu,
Beidou,
Beidou,
Xiangling.
Changling, yeah, all these energy hungry type of burst supports can really benefit from this set. So at
Not
the end of the day, you know, it's a good set for everyone. So
yeah. I
like
actually had
it's
that in my
like
notes too about Beidou,
yeah,
Xiangling, Xingqiu.
yeah,
Especially
like
for
you know,
those Xingqiu lovers, man. Those guys that just love that guy, that boy, and defend him.
yeah. Because remember, at the end of the day, like you know, Mona's still kind of the burst DPS support along with the other, you know, Betos and
Yep.
Xingqius and all that. So you know, she's still considered in that category.
Yep. And that's what the
So
majority of
yeah,
people build her for, right?
yeah, and then that's why this set works for her and the other ones as well too. So yeah,
Yeah. And
and
I don't think Mona needs it as much as Beidou, Xingqiu, and well, not even Xingqiu, as much as Beidou and Zhongling need it.
yeah, that's right. I mean, yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's it, right? Good.
Yeah.
Don't hype it up too much. It's good. You know, just we just gotta wait for, I guess, actually testing out because it's all pre-analysis. So I'm excited for it. I'm just not like freaking drooling over it.
I'm just gonna look at my first ever piece when I get it, and it's gonna be Defense Descent, and I'm gonna be like, oh my god, it's gonna be a long ride.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yep.